Good to welcome everybody. Okay, let's start the story. So the story is actually about three tzaddikim. It's about Rabbi Yitzchak of Berdichev, about Rabbi Elimelech of Lizensk, or Lizinik, and about Reb Zusha, his brother. Say the joke at the end.
I'll play it at the end is what I'm going to do.
There's
a famous politician that couldn't pronounce what he was supposed to say.
I'll play it for them.
Okay, so basically, the third one. I heard this about Reb Zusha. I didn't know that they both would do this. They were brothers, Reb Elimelech and Reb Zusha. I heard that. I remember hearing stories of Reb Zusha would sometimes, let's say, go. He knew a certain person, either with Ruach HaKodesh or they happened to know the person was struggling with a certain thing. Either not fulfilling a mitzvah or a certain avera. And he would, so in the story it says that they would both go and basically speak about that avera or about the lack of that mitzvah next to that person close by, as if they had done it, and to speak about how important the mitzvah is or how terrible the avera was, whatever, and that would basically bring the person to think about it, and he would do tshuva also. That was their way of doing it. When I was a kid, my father actually told me Reb Zusha would go and sometimes even cry and really bitterly, and the person would just break down and melt to do tshuva. So that was their derech. So one time they went to a certain place, and the balabas over there was a yid. They started talking. One brother says to the other, I checked. I never checked my tefillin in my life, and one time I went and checked my tefillin, and instead of finding parchment in there, I found pieces of wood. That's what he says. So the other brother starts saying, "Do you understand what it means? A karkafta limonach tefillin. Someone never put tefillin on their life." And he starts really going to the greatness of tefillin and the severity of never putting on tefillin. And the owner is sitting he was resting by the fireplace, and he hears them talking about it. He's like, "I never checked my tefillin." So he goes, checks his tefillin, and lo and behold, there's pieces of wood in there. So he just heard how important the mitzvah is and how severe it is not to put on. So he goes over to the brothers and he tells them, "I have this problem. I also don't have wood in my. I also found wood in my tefillin, and turns out I never put on tefillin in my life." So one of the brothers says to the other, "So we have to write tefillin, have certain kavanas, and to be basically the way the story said it, to be mamshich tefillin as if he had always put on tefillin and never missed tefillin in his life," which is very whatever. I don't understand what that means.
Technically, had the kavanah to do with the tefillin.
No, I'm saying basically when he was saying that when they write the tefillin, one of the brothers was writing the tefillin, that he should have kavanah as he always put on tefillin and continued. And he put on tefillin, and shortly afterwards, this person passed away.
Really?
Shortly after he passed away.
Just changed his tefillin.
So, well, I guess there was an inyan that he should have done tshuva, right? If he doesn't know about it, how is he going to do tshuva for that?
Right, it's not your fault. It's the connection is fine, right?
No, it's still whatever. It's still So what happens? Oh, so now in those days, the Chevra Kadisha, when they would bury the person, they would take their tefillin and they would sell it. That's how it was in those days. They would take it to a person. I guess if he doesn't have any, I guess if there's no one to inherit it, they would take the tefillin, and that was the minhag. And basically, they came to Rabbi Yitzchak of Berdichev, who was a contemporary, right? They were both talmidim of the Maggid, right? And I guess somehow these sellers of tefillin, they wound up by him, or and he saw the tefillin and he looked, and he chose this pair of tefillin. He said, "I want these tefillin." So the Gabbai of the Chevra Kadisha understood, Rabbi Yitzchak of Berdichev is seeing something special. So he said, "Please tell me, before I sell it to you, tell me why you want these tefillin. That's special." So he tells him the whole story, and he explains that these were done with special kavanas by these tzaddikim, one of these tzaddikim. And anyway, so that's a short story.
Wow. I wonder where they are today.
Those tefillin? Yeah. Right. With many other things. But and it's brought down in in Teres Shalom as the known story, Sipur Hedua of the Tefillin. That's brought down. This story. Anyway, good Tavach, everybody.
Les